Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're currently in the process of building our adventure van, which is a 2020 Crafter, medium wheelbase for a family of 4. This is going to be a fully off-grid camper van. We're very early in the stages at the moment, hoping to have this project done by around April, May 2024. Well, that's the plan. So far, we have done the flooring, new ply floor, put vinyl tiles down, we've installed the rear seats for the kids, and we've fabricated a frame to raise it up. We've also put a reverse camera in. We've also done quite a lot of external bits and pieces, new headlights, laser lamps, new wheels, arch trims, just to give the van a little bit more of an aggressive look, a bit more purposeful. What else have we done? Oh yeah, of course, we've done the insulation, so we've sound deadened, and with Dodo mat, we've also put in some close-cell foam insulation, and then we've done the recycled plastic loft insulation stuff. That's in most of the panels. The only one we haven't done is the ceiling, because at some point very soon we're going to be doing a SkyMax fan and a skylight, which we've already got. They're here, they are ready to go. Just waiting for a day where it's not raining, and it's literally started raining right now. So that means today is an interior job, which if I show you here. So as you can see, we've raised the seats up, and this frame, which comes from Explore Campers, this is about 170 mil, sorry, up, but we need to raise the floor from here so it's level, and ultimately I want the top finish to be flush with this edge. Runs all the way along. It's around about 140 mil, I think. So I need to build a plinth that goes across, and then we're going to build a frame blanking kind of cover that will come all the way around and here and down the back, and that will all be boxed in. It means that underneath here, so when the kids' seats are out the way, we can lift this up and there can be storage for toys and stuff underneath. I still need to cover that bit, and you'll see that I ended up actually cutting a section out of the ply. Oh, geez, it's really got windy. We hear the rain. I actually ended up cutting this channel out of the ply floor and then bolting this frame straight to the metal floor, and then supported it with brackets underneath, and then this insert just literally got glued in. It's not doing anything, it literally just sits there with a bit of glue. That's the plan today, is to build a plinth, and it's going to curve around there. We're also going to put some sort of hatch in there, a little pull handle, so you can lift it up and then store things like muddy shoes and stuff underneath and out of the way. So let's see how we get on. I'm not a carpenter. I just like cutting up wood and seeing what works and testing myself, I guess. So just popped to the local builder's merchant, picked up this nice piece of 18 mil ply, which I'm going to be cutting up into sections and using those sections to effectively build a structural base, which will all be like cross beams, a bit like you would do if you were building a stud wall. Probably cut them at like 130 mil, I think. And then we're going to be using this is the old floor that came out of the van originally. I cut this to then make the actual top of the plinth, and this is 11 mil. Now, very handily, conveniently, this is the front section of the original ply floor, which, as you can see, is very neatly routed, scribed, whatever the phrase is, fit in there. Now obviously the only sections that are missing are there, but I can at least use this as a bit of a template for my cut. The other thing we're going to need to do is where it goes to the door. I don't want this bit to come out so much. I want it to run along that piece of metal to about there and then in. So we're going to need to build like a little box around there. Bring out the top bit all the way to the edge, and then at least we'll have like a solid kind of flat bit that runs out along, curves around here and into this section here. Okay, so what I've done is I've just put this Dodo superliner along the back of the, I guess it's the lower bulkhead area, And I've also just poked the holes, so there's the existing holes where the bulkhead would have been bolted into, and I've cut out a piece of ply and then drilled holes. I don't know if this is the proper way of doing it, but it kind of made sense to me that I wanted those holes blocked up anyway. Use these longer, I'm guessing they're M5 bolts, pop them through there, to this side as well. A little bit of faffing just to get the holes in the exact location, but effectively this is the starting point for building out the subframe of the plinth, and it gives me a pretty tight and secure hold where that board is not going to go anywhere. It's bolted to the chassis of the van, it's flush with the floor, it's going to be flush there, the ply then sits on top plus the vinyl flooring, and it should take us to pretty much that line there all the way around. So from here I build out a little box section there, run it down there, this section here, across there, use that bolt hole there, that bolt hole there to have a panel flush against these bits, run another piece to there, and then we'll come square and round and down there. Okay, the reason for this super liner, A, is for sound insulation, but also where I wanted the wood to be right up against it, just helps stop any squeaking later on as the wood sort of expands, heat and cold, stops any squeaking against the metalwork, and obviously protects the paint underneath there as well. Okay, so we've got the first section in, it's all bolted and secured against the back wall, and then I've made this separate section which will then box in nicely there. So I need to take off these bolts and then screw in from the other side in there, and then this will all become one section. I also need to screw that on as well, and then the next section will start to come in from there with another piece, another support coming across there, across and then down again, and then that will be a box section for our little hatch storage area. And yeah, at the moment it's 90 degrees, and then we'll have to curve this as well with a thinner piece of ply. Campers, we've made ourselves a nice little raised plinth in between the seats, just to make sure that that seat is as level as that when it swivels round, obviously to make up the gap on the fabricated base. Also cut out some holes, you know, heavy milligram helps in saving weight, and this section, this extra frame section, is going to be a little hatch we're going to lift up out of the floor. And then there's a extra storage, you can fit shoes under there, and then hidden things under here. And then right there is going to be a table leg which will come up, and our table will come out for a nice little dining area. I said obviously once those seats swivel around, then we'll have a row of 3, 2 kiddie seats, and a nice dining area. Also cut out this floor, which is the remaining, or my old trendline floor. Routed it. Spent a lot of faffing today. Trying to do this one-handed now. But it should. Oh, I love it. And it's screwing in there. Didn't quite have enough length for that section, but that'll be alright. Screw that down, tight. Using a bit of light there. Like that. It's pretty snug. A little overhang. Quite happy with that angle as well. We were going to do it curved, but decided not to curve it. Quite like that. And then when it comes to the kitchen, which will be across here, we'll do a similar 45-degree angle on the end of the kitchen, so allow a little walkway through. I was going to tackle that today, but this thing has taken me 2 days so far to build, and I still haven't done the hatch. The only thing that's remaining is to add some trim to the edge. A little undecided what to do. I think we're going to go for like a rubber L piece that just covers over the edge all the way around. We also need to sort out this step edge as well. Got a little bit more depth to play with, but yeah, we'll see. Might just do an aluminium strip along there. So I only need to go to here because the kitchen will cover all that section there. Job for another day. Thanks for watching. Do like it, do subscribe. Got lots more videos coming soon. Hopefully you're enjoying our van build. Not a pro, not a carpenter, not a sparky, just a dad, a bloke. Likes putting holes in his van and turning them into campers or adventure vans. So yeah, subscribe, like, and join us on the next episode. Boom.